Alright, so what's going on, everyone? In today's forecast, we'll be looking at an upcoming major system and some more after that will be expected to traverse across the country for the next week or two. In fact, it's looking like the second half of February is also be looking to be quite active, with numerous chances of severe weather and snowstorms alike across various areas of the country for much of February. We'll be diving into the details in today's video, so let's just dive in straight into the video. We can get into the details. So if we look at our future radar here, it does look like we have an ongoing disturbance in the upper Midwest, including heavy snow at times across portions of Minnesota into Wisconsin and UP of Michigan through tonight. There is a line of shower tower that expands from the upper Midwest across much of the Midwest, and as well as portions of South, including Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, it does look like this line will try to stall out, especially across Oklahoma and Texas area. There's portions of Arkansas there, where it does look like we'll have some flood threat for tomorrow and, of course, especially Wednesday as we get to that point. So it does look like it'll try to stall out, producing heavy rounds of rain at times in this region. So it'll probably be numerous rounds of rain. Some of this could potentially be heavy, however. It'll finally move out as the system does eventually develop and potentially rapidly deepen across the central United States. Now, it does bring a widespread area of flash flooding concerns with the heavy rainfall, though, on the warm side of the system, even potential for severe weather if a squall line does indeed manage to develop. I would say the strongest severe threat concerns or areas that have the best chance of seeing severe weather, at least for Wednesday to the Thursday period, is going to be anywhere from this region. Although there will be some details to be refined in this forecast as well in later videos as well. So this area is going to change to be expected time to time as well. But this is a rough area that we could see best potential for weather with this event. Now it does look like this storm could produce an area of heavy snow from Iowa into Wisconsin and surrounding regions, as well as portions of Michigan. And this could lead to potentially several inches of heavy snow. And this will be mainly wet snow, so it's unfortunately going to be hard to shovel compared to the drier snow. So yeah, of course, this is also going to lead to some slick travel and, of course, potentially significant impacts to travel. This is especially going to be the case when this heavy snowman does begin to set up Thursday morning over Iowa, and then it will continue over Wisconsin during the day and Tuesday, and continue to Michigan through the afternoon evening hours. While it does look like, fortunately, this will be quick moving, it could lead to potentially several inches of accumulation, because this is going to be pretty heavy snow at times we're going to be seeing with the system. But areas like New England could also see some of this stuff, maybe even a little ice if the setup does happen to fail that, which there is potential for. A second disturbance will try to develop ahead of time. This will be this coming Friday and Saturday behind the main system, which actually has departed by this point here off to Canada. So it does look like this will also bring potentially some snow concerns. This will be mainly from Missouri into Illinois and Indiana into Michigan. Again, there is potential for rain, but the severe threat is almost zero at this point, if not zero completely. Although it does look like another disturbance, if not from the same one, does look like it could initiate some showers and storms in the southeast. Although it wouldn't be a surprise if potentially a severe storm or two does develop, so there is an isolated severe threat for Friday to Saturday in the southeast. But again, everything is uncertain this time. But it does look like we could see an area of marked heavy snow across the Midwest for a Saturday, and then this will try to organize into a nor'easter off the shore, with snow in the Appalachians and inland portions of the Northeast. However, again, this could potentially lead some of the coastal Northeast, according to GFS here, to get some in on some of those accumulations. This would mainly be across the Mid-Atlantic region and areas south of New York City, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of those regions, especially if it does turn out this will actually eat some snow. But then again, the trend all winter has been mostly rain across these areas. Yet again, the system could potentially traverse the area next week in a similar path that we're expecting this coming major system to. Again, this is the timing's looking to be mid next week. Although it does look like there needs to be plenty of details to be refined up to that point. So we're going to move on to our other aspects of this video. We'll go as quickly as we can with that stuff. Now, of course, as usual, with many major systems, there could potentially be another sharp temperature gradient with this, leading to a big warm up across south, as indicated for Monday. Of course, that was just today, but then again on Tuesday across southeast. And then it does look like this warm up will continue, although it will bring a surge of warm air to the north, and even potentially all the way to the Great Lakes, even some Canada, on the warm side of the system. This is expected to move through in the next couple of days here across country, being a wide area range of impacts to the country. Again, this will be ranging from snow to severe weather, although this look like along with this Gulf moisture here, this could lead to big warm up in many areas ahead of the front and of course the rain. And then again, some of this could be in the form of storms and even potentially severe weather in the warm sector area. Of course, we'll be looking at this more in detail, but it does look like the cold front will cool things back down again. Of course, it does look like some of these areas could still struggle to get very cold during the night, at least until this final system does come through. Then it will lead to some brief cool down across south as well, even. This looks like some Arctic with sub-zero temperatures, at least during the night, is possible across the Great Lakes and later on to the northeast. Although it does look like the burst of the cold won't arrive until quite a bit into some middle of February, although again, everything's uncertain, especially this far out, so we're not going to completely rely on details this far out, although it does look like this could potentially be something to watch for the next week or so. However, again, we're going to be focusing on our major storm system and possibly some really active weather after this into much of February. So, of course, bear with us here as we get into some more details, including snowfall accumulations and severe weather potential. Alright, so looking at our snowfall map here, it does look like this system that'll be quickly moving through before this main system comes through later in the week. It does look like through tonight and much of Tuesday, it does look like it'll drop a quick few inches across the Midwest, generally in the 2 to 4 inch range, although some places could locally see more than that in the heavier bands. However, this main system that does come through, at least according to GFS, we'll be looking at other models shortly. It does look like it could drop up to several inches, maybe even locally a foot in some places, from eastern Iowa into Wisconsin and northern Michigan, and potentially portions of northwest Illinois as well. This second system will also be a similar story, bringing, at least according to GFS, a swath of heavy snow from eastern Missouri into central portions of Illinois and Indiana, even southern Ohio. Again, this is an interesting signal that GFS started showing, although there is uncertainty whether or not this will come true. But bear with us, we will be looking at the models for the next few days and see what happens here. But GFS is trying to bury portions of the mid-Atlantic in a heavy snowstorm, potentially over a foot in some places, including portions of the mid-Atlantic and coastal Northeast. Although then again, trends have mostly been disappointing all winter for much of the eastern half of the nation. So don't be surprised if something changes with the storm as well. Although then again, things can happen this late in winter as well, as it is still technically winter, the coldest season of the entire year. So of course we could definitely see some late season snowstorms even in the mid-Atlantic. So don't get your hopes down quite yet. Now we will be looking through all of the models here. Of course it does look like the Euro is actually, trying to show a swath of snow, of course, lighter than other models here. It is like it'll be trying to come through northwest Illinois and eastern Iowa into portions of Wisconsin and Michigan with a few inches of snow, but it gets heavier as you progress to the northeast. And then overfoot would be possible according to this model in northern portions of Michigan, for leading to a few inches of snow across the New England region and the northeast. It is also showing some snow in the inland portions of Mid-Atlantic and New England, especially in the Appalachian Mountains there. However, this could potentially be the same storm that GFS is showing, bringing a mass snowstorm in portions of Mid-Atlantic. However, it's way too early to make the call as of yet. Again, K models also is not showing much with either of the systems. In fact, same thing with Aero here. It is while GFS is showing a rogue second system moving through portions of the Midwest with heavy snow possible there. After this main system exits. However, it does look like the other models are not showing much at all with this. In fact, the Canadian is mostly just showing the band of snow with this first storm. But of course, it won't lead to too much accumulations. However, it could lead to some 1 to 3 inches across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of Michigan, according to the Canadian model here. However, a heavy band of snow would be possible from Iowa into far northern Illinois and northern Michigan and into portions of southern Wisconsin, and then again across New England with this same system as well. And then again, this is potentially showing a second system, but although just really light snow accumulations locally up to possibly even exceeding an inch in some places, although it is again not showing much further to the south across the Midwest and Ohio Valley there, while the UK model is showing maybe a band, however, this would be really light again, not much accumulations, maybe up to an inch or so from Missouri, Illinois into Indiana and some Michigan. Again, this is going to be the main concern here. The UK is showing this main storm bringing a heavy area of snow from southern central eastern Wisconsin into portions of northern central Michigan into the New England region, including portions of the southern Canada region there, especially across entire Quebec. So now we're going to go into our aspects of this video as well. So what Euro is showing in terms of rainfall amounts, it does look like two separate areas of heavy rainfall would be possible. One of which could be coming from Alabama, Georgia, Florida area along the coast, or technically mainly inland from the coast, into the Mid-Atlantic and eventually coming off the coast there, especially across the Mid-Atlantic region, all the way up to the New Jersey area. The National Weather's blended models is mainly focusing the heaviest rainfall across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and portions of Missouri and Texas there in that green circle region where we could have our heaviest flash flooding concerns. Now, the UK model is also showing quite the same thing, although areas along the Gulf Coast potentially see exceeding 2 inches of rainfall as well. This would be something to watch, especially across southeast, for flash flooding concerns, even from some potentially severe weather with this upcoming event. Now, GFS is also showing the same thing here, although focusing the heavy fall amounts a little further to the north compared to other models, coming from eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana for 2+ inches of rainfall. And then again, of course, it's showing a similar story, although this is technically a model we have already looked at, but didn't focus as much on the Ohio Valley area of the rainfall. Again, very similar story, in fact, to the GFS, at least in regards to South and Ohio Valley receiving the most soaking rainfall, from northeast Texas, eastern Oklahoma, all the way into portions of Illinois and Indiana. We could see at least 2+ inches of rainfall and a higher risk of flash flooding. Now again, although the CFS isn't showing anything like anything in detail, it does look like it could lead some flash flooding concerns, especially across Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and from Florida, Alabama, Georgia, into the coastal Carolinas and Virginia region. Again, now we're going to finally look at our severe weather potential and then conclude our video for the day. Alright, so for our severe weather outlook, it does look like we have a marginal risk across much of southeastern Texas, including areas such as Houston, Austin, Corpus Christi, Pasadena, and Waco in areas of Texas. So it does look like there is an isolated tornado threat along with the damaging wind threat, although the large hail threat is basically negligible, at least for now. It does look like this area will advance to the east, expanding across portions of far eastern Texas, but also into all of Louisiana and Mississippi, but also much of Arkansas and Alabama, and otherwise portions of Tennessee and Florida. Again, we have the same hazards here as tomorrow, but ones that could also feature potentially some isolated damaging winds, maybe even an isolated tornado threat. Of course, this could potentially get upgraded to a high risk, just slight, maybe enhanced, although I'm probably going to stick with slight for now until we get closer to the event for potential upgrades. And I think that is very possible given the potential setup with this. So it does look like this storm will potentially lead to severe weather across south especially. But again, this could potentially lead to an expansion or even intensification of the severe weather threat in this area. So if you found this forecast useful, helpful, and informational for your future plans, and if you do and like to continue to see forecasts from us in the future, why not consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated with the latest of forecasts. Hope you have a great night, everyone. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next video.